Hey everyone, and welcome to today's Explainer. Today, we're unpacking a really incredible approach to learning, specifically a framework developed by KAEC Nigerian Schools. If you've ever felt like standard schooling is just missing that certain spark, or you found yourself wondering how we can actually prepare students for a wildly changing world, well, you're in the right place. We're going to explore the very pedagogical engine KAEC uses to shift students from being just passive listeners into active, dynamic creators.
Okay, let's dive into this. Our roadmap for today is pretty straightforward. We'll start with Part 1, the education gap. Then Part 2, raising tomorrow's builders. Part 3 is the HQLS learning engine, and we'll wrap up with Part 4, the three-step pathway.
So, starting off with Section 1, the education gap, and the problem with standard schooling. Before we even get into the solution, we really have to acknowledge the frustrating noise and limitations of modern education. There is this glaring gap between what traditional schools are teaching and what the real world actually demands.
Just listen to this quote straight from KAEC materials. "The world no longer rewards those who wait, it rewards those who build." That really establishes the high stakes of our changing world, doesn't it? So many of us spent years just memorizing facts to pass a test, only to forget them like a week later. The era of sitting back and waiting for instructions, that's over. The people succeeding right now, the ones actually shaping the future, are the builders.
There's just a stark contrast between traditional schools and this new approach. Think about the stagnant verbs we associate with standard schooling. Train to follow, memorize, pass, repeat. It's totally passive. But KAEC recognized this gap, and they refuse to just fill it with more noise. Their active mission is completely different. They train builders. Not just students, actual builders.
Moving right along to Section 2, raising tomorrow's builders, which is KAEC's core philosophy. Let's explore this massive paradigm shift that happens when a school decides to treat its students completely differently.
Most traditional schools are fundamentally structured around one simple question. How do we help them pass? Right? They look at the standardized tests and just work backward. So the crucial point is how KAEC changes this. Their guiding question is, how do we help them build? Just by changing that one core question, they completely transform the educational experience into something vastly more empowering.
And this shift is rooted in a really profound philosophy. KAEC was founded on the belief that every single child is born with the capacity to build something meaningful. They firmly believe students are not meant to be passengers on this educational ride. They're builders in training. But as they point out, builders aren't just magically discovered by accident. They have to be actively trained through challenge, discipline, creativity, and belief.
So what exactly does a builder in training learn? Let's walk through these 5 active traits that completely replace rote memorization. First, they learn to think clearly. Second, act boldly. Third, create value. Fourth, solve real problems. And fifth, lead with character. You'll notice absolutely none of these say memorize a textbook. These are highly dynamic skills designed to empower a student to actually interact with and improve the world around them.
Now, to make this kind of learning happen, the role of the teacher has to completely evolve too. At KAEC, teachers aren't these rigid commanders of the classroom. Instead, they're trained to be guides. Their job is to design growth, provide a solid support structure, and this is key, call out potential before performance. They literally see what the child is capable of building and gently guide them right toward it.
All right, let's jump to Section 3, the HQLS learning engine, the mechanics of the solution. This is really the core focus of our explainer today. We get the philosophy, but what is the actual pedagogical engine driving these incredible results inside the classroom? Well, it all comes down to HQLS, which stands for the Human Quest Learning System. This is their proprietary learning framework, and it powers exactly how KAEC students think, learn, and grow. It's basically the beating heart of the school, the engine behind all of their lessons, their projects, skills academies, and purpose labs. The fundamental difference with the HQLS framework is that it treats learning as a journey, not a task of memorization. And this brilliantly illustrates the whole concept. Instead of just being handed a set of facts to memorize and repeat like a parrot, students experience learning as a dynamic, unfolding adventure.
HQLS completely transforms the classroom dynamic into a literal hero's journey. Think about this framework. The learner is the hero of the story. The teacher, they're the guide. And the problem they're trying to solve, that is the villain. Imagine how insanely engaging that is for a young mind. They aren't just sitting there doing a boring math worksheet. They are the hero teaming up with their guide to defeat a villainous problem. So here's how that hero's journey actually plays out in their classroom methodology. First, students must struggle with meaningful problems. They literally have to face the villain. Then they explore ideas, and they test their thinking. It's only after this whole process of struggle and exploration that they receive clarity from their guide. They aren't just handed the answers up front, no way. They have to earn that clarity through the quest.
And you might be wondering, why do it this way? Well, it's because of the natural outcomes. This struggle to clarity process builds immense confidence, it sparks serious creativity, and it results in an incredibly deep understanding. Look, when you just hand a student an answer, they forget it the second the test is over. But when they are the hero who had to struggle and test their own thinking to conquer a problem, that knowledge stays with them. That is true deep retention.
Finally, let's get into Section 4, the 3-step pathway on how to start the journey. We've looked at the philosophy, we've explored the HQLS engine, but how does a student actually get started? For parents out there, especially those in the Higendo-Lagos area where KAEC is located, how do you initiate this amazing journey for your child?
Let's move to and see how this builds into an actionable real-world plan provided by KAEC. It's a very clear 3-step pathway. Step 1, book a free assessment. This lets the school actually understand your child and their specific current needs. Step 2, receive a personalized pathway. KAEC will lay out a clear, tailored roadmap for your child's academic, leadership, and skill development. And step 3, just watch your child grow.
And let me tell you, that growth is a profound transformation. As students graduate from this builder's training ground, parents see incredible confidence, sharp discipline, real-world skills, a standard of excellence, and most importantly, a genuine readiness for global opportunities. They aren't just ready to pass a test, they are fully ready to navigate the real world.
I really want to leave you with this final, incredibly powerful thought from KAEC's philosophy. The future will not be inherited, it will be constructed. It totally challenges us to rethink education, doesn't it? Are we preparing our kids to just passively inherit whatever world is handed to them, or are we equipping them with the tools, the mindset, and the framework to actually construct it? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. I really hope it gave you some fantastic insights into the HQS framework and what it genuinely means to raise a builder. Keep exploring, and I'll catch you in the next one.